Recently, one journalist asked me a question, Sajeev, you have been in the field of coaching business coaching for the last 20 years and also in business consulting for the last 10 years. So you have come across a lot of entrepreneurs. So tell us some secret, why businesses fail, what kind of traits or characteristic of these entrepreneurs make the businesses fail? That's an interesting question. In fact, in Brahma, what we do is that we work with SMEs very, very closely. It's not like a training or coaching. We work like our team becomes almost like a CEO for the company for a period of time, and we manage their show for some time. So we have done more than 300 companies and in almost 60 different business domains. So we know a bit about how the entrepreneurs in the SME space behave and what are their shortfalls, what are their plus, what are their minus, and all those things. Even though I know these factors, when he asked, immediately it was very difficult to answer. But still, I could figure out a few things, and then I went back to my team and I said that this is a very interesting question. From the experience we gained over the last 1 decade, let's jot down a few points. And some of the basic points what we came across, I thought I should share with you. Number one, what we found is that especially with the young generation entrepreneurs, that they want success right away, which never happens. You have to understand one thing, all those success stories what you are seeing right now in the marketplace, whoever it is, whether it is Mukesh Ambani or whether it is Kishore Biyani, all those success stories what you are seeing right now in the market, you have started seeing all these people only when they already have become successful. You have never seen them when they were working hard. You have never seen them when they were struggling in their life. So don't think that their success happened overnight. No, nothing like that. They also struggled for a period of time. The moment they became successful, they came into the limelight. That's the time we all saw them. So success cannot happen overnight. So it requires some time. So don't ever think that tomorrow you can become a big success story. It takes some time. Compared to the previous decades, I can tell you right now, the kind of success of which people used to create in 2 decades, right now people can do it in 3 or 4 years. But still it takes some time. We have to be patient. Second important factor what we found with many entrepreneurs, that they want to do everything by themselves. They think that only if I do it, then only it will happen. If I give it to somebody, if I delegate, I cannot entrust anybody. I don't have faith in anybody. I don't believe in anybody. People will cheat me. These are the kinds of common statements a lot of small businessmen say. But understand one thing, if you wanted to build a business, you have to delegate things. You have to outsource things. If you are doing it by yourself, you are not a businessman, you are a self-employed. You are an employee of your own business. And in fact, 96% of all the people in the world, they are employed. They are employee of their own business. They are self-employees. They think that they are in business, but they are self-employees. So if you are in business, you have to understand one thing, that you have to understand and learn the art of delegation. You have to empower other people. You have to entrust and be faithful. You have to trust other people. You have to build in systems and processes in the company so that works can be delegated. Then I ask myself a question, is that what I'm supposed to do? Am I a designer? I may be good at designing. I may be good at creating ideas. But I'm not the designer. So I outsource that work to somebody else, even though I have that sense of design. So always understand that the moment you start doing everything by yourself, you are going to be in a chaos. If you are an entrepreneur, if you wanted to build business, you have to delegate, you have to outsource. One big mistake any entrepreneur can come across is that I'm doing business for money. The moment you start thinking that way, I think you're doomed to fail. Always remember, if you start sacrificing your passion just for money, because you have to understand one thing, when you are starting a business, you need to identify a need or a pain in the market, and then identify whether you have a passion associated with that so that you can solve that issue. Because if you are doing something which you are not passionate about, you are not going to do it forever. A lot of people I have seen, they have started their business based on their passion and also looking at the market demand. And once they start becoming successful and seeing their success, some other people will come and give them another business idea. Just by looking at the margins and profitability in that business, they will jump into that. They will lose focus, they will lose direction, ultimately they will fail. Don't jump into a business which is not connected with your passion, even if it's going to give you more money. Always remember this. This is thumb rule. Fourth thing what we have identified is that not being adaptable, Because I have seen many people coming out of employment, they must have been in a higher position in some corporate, and they're having a cabin and they're having a revolving chair, have a peon who is ready to, take any orders from them. Sir, do you want to have a coffee, tea kind of stuff? And when they want to take a photocopy, there is somebody to take the photocopy. Once they get into the business is a different ball game altogether. At least unless and until you have a bigger setup, you may have to do most of the things like taking a photocopy, or maybe you may have to even make your own tea, or you may have to go to a shop and buy some tea for yourself. This has to be understood before we get into business, or when you are in business. I come across one gentleman who was actually holding a very high position in one of the major corporates, and he was having every facility out there. And when he jumped into business, he became director with one of his friends in another company, and they started a new business. That point of time, he was very much annoyed with all those things. He was telling his friend, who is a co-founder, saying that, I cannot go out and take photocopies. You have to be adaptable to the situation. If you're not adaptable, especially as an entrepreneur, you're going to deal with so many people. You're going to deal with the customers, you're going to deal with the vendors, you're going to deal with your employees, and never expect that all those people are good, nice people. They're going to always do things which you always like. No, that's not going to happen. Business is a tough game. So you have to be adaptable. That's very crucial. And the fifth, and I would rather say the most important mistake entrepreneurs do, is that they ignore technology. A lot of entrepreneurs, especially the all generation entrepreneurs, they think that, oh, technology and all, without that also I can do things. See, we conducted Brahma, we conduct a lot of boot camps for, in terms of how to raise funds from the market, structured funding like venture capital, how to take a company to IPO and all those kinds of stuff. So we do a lot of work on that. So when we come across this kind of boot camps, many entrepreneurs ask this question, oh yeah, we understand all those kinds of venture capital funds and all those stuff, but most of these funds are being raised by technology companies. Then I asked the question, who are the technology companies? Oyo Rooms, Ola, Flipkart. I said, they are not technology companies, they are technology enabled businesses and services. And for that matter, from now onwards, any business in the world will be technology enabled. If it is not technology enabled, I can guarantee that that business is not going to survive. So be ready. Don't ignore technology. So these 5 things may be very peripheral, very simple, but at the same time, think about it deeper level. If you're an entrepreneur or if you're getting into business, you have to think about all these 5 aspects very seriously, because these 5 aspects I have seen as common factors among many entrepreneurs in the SME space. And I have seen some of these factors as the reason for their failure or struggle in their business. And understand one thing, we are right now living in this country, very fortunate to be in this period. At this point of time, we are living in this country because this country is going to see a major economic growth. Not just because of any political reasons, but because 55% of the population is around the age of 25. So that means they all are going to get into the peak earning years. So the economy is going to boom. So that the advantage is going to be for entrepreneurs, anybody who is going to get into business. So it's a great opportunity, great time. It's a great place to be in. But at the same time, you have to follow certain principles to be successful in the journey of entrepreneurship. See you next time. Bye.